Stardew Valley can be extremely fun and relaxing, but it can also be a little bit annoying at times. Here are a couple things that grind my gears. Alrighty, let's get started. Picture this. It's a snowy Monday in the middle of winter and you are completely out of hay. And you have about 30 animals. They are starving and you know if you do not feed them, they will hate you. So you head over to Marnie's ranch. But wait, you forgot. Marnie decided to go and hang around Pierre's store the entire day on Mondays. So you say to yourself, okay, the animals can go one day without food. It's fine. They'll survive. Then Tuesday comes. And of course, you try to pet your animals to try and make up for letting them starve. And you just see the disappointment in their faces. So off to Marnie you go. And once again, you forgot that on Tuesdays, Marnie takes the entire day to exercise at Pierre's house. Marnie, please! I thought you care about your animals, but you are causing my animals to starve. This is also true for Pierre being closed on Wednesdays. But Marnie not showing up to work is just so much worse. Death in Stardew Valley is extremely punishing, but it is punishing for a reason. It is to teach you to prepare properly before diving into dangerous places like the Skull Cavern or the volcano. But sometimes it can be a little bit too punishing. Ever accidentally died and lost a bunch of valuable items? Yeah, it's happened way too often for me. Prismatic shards, radioactive ore, infinity blades. I cannot afford to lose these items. Sometimes I was just not paying much attention to the game or was overwhelmed. It is what it is. But there is something so much worse than everything so far on this list. If you plant a fairy rose within the range of a bee house, your bee houses will produce fairy rose honey. We all know that fairy rose honey can make you some mega bucks. Each fairy rose honey can sell for about 900 gold, and it only takes 4 days to produce this, meaning we can basically print money without doing much. But have you ever walked through your bee house collection and accidentally harvested your fairy rose? Yeah, I've done that way too often. When this happens, I usually just stand there and think about how bad I messed up. Usually you could just restart the day, but sometimes I only harvest my honey at the end of the day, and I really did a bunch of stuff around my farm. It is in those moments that I struggle. I struggle so hard to decide if I should restart the day or just take the L. What would you do in this situation? When you have played the game as much as I have, completing the community center within the first year is just a given. I have basically memorized every single community center bundle requirement in the game, and to be honest, completing the community center is pretty easy, especially since most of the items are guaranteed with a little bit of effort and planning. Well, all of the items are guaranteed, all except for one. I am sure you know exactly what I am talking about. The red cabbage. Red cabbage is a crop that you can only purchase in the second year, but it is required by the community center. And that means we cannot just simply buy red cabbage seeds. We need to rely on random luck. The traveling merchant can sell red cabbage seeds and even the red cabbage crop, but it isn't guaranteed. It all comes down to luck. Even if you visit the traveling merchant every single Friday and Sunday, you might not get it. In my 100 days video, I got extremely lucky and a royal serpent dropped some red cabbage seeds for me in the Skull Cavern. But most of the time, we might not be that lucky. Red cabbage is the bane of my existence. With the latest update, we can now add enchantments to our weapons and tools. Some of these enchantments are actually overpowered and are game-changing, like the Swift enchant for tools and the Artful enchant for your Infinity Gavel. But the assignment of these enchantments is completely random, and what makes it even worse is that the price to add an enchantment is a prismatic shard. Imagine sacrificing a prismatic shard and then getting a terrible enchant like the preserving enchant on the fishing rod. And from my testing, if you get an enchant you don't like, you can't just reset the day because you will get the exact same enchant. Once you reach the super late game and you are swimming in prismatic shards, it isn't that big of a deal, but when you just reach floor 10 in the volcano with only a single prismatic shard, it's kind of a big deal. This one might sound petty and completely avoidable, but have you ever walked around with your coal in your hand and wanted to say hi to a villager, and then you accidentally give them coal as a gift and they hated it, and then you click on them again and the game is like, you have already given a gift to this NPC. Sure, you could just change your selected item, but this has happened more often than I am willing to admit. Okay guys, you might completely disagree with me here, but the arcade minigames in Stardew Valley are too hard. It's probably because I have not put in the hundreds of hours required to get good at Junima Kart and Journey of the Prairie King. But man, these minigames are incredibly punishing. When I first started playing Stardew Valley, I used to hate fishing, but I quickly understood how to fish, and now I actually love the fishing minigame. But the arcade games are something else. Journey of the Prairie King is hard, but it's not nearly as bad as Junima Kart. I just can't time my jumps nicely. It feels like I'm playing Jump King, but in Stardew Valley. This problem might be unique to me because I often sleep for multiple days in a row to get content for a video. But after you sleep in a row for 50 days and finally leave your farmhouse, you see that your entire farm is covered. And I mean absolutely covered with trees. There can be so many trees that we can't even walk around our farm. Out of curiosity, has this ever happened to you guys? Maintaining a farm in Stardew Valley is a lot of hard work. There are tons of things you need to do every single day, especially now that we also have a farm on Ginger Island. We will be working hard every single day, but our spouse, they just stand around all day at the farmhouse, living a luxurious life off of our riches and hard work. Shane, can you help around the farm a little please? These trees aren't gonna cut themselves down. Bats are probably one of the worst enemies in the game. It's not that they are hard to defeat, they don't do much damage, and they are not that tanky, but they fly incredibly slow and they are susceptible to knockback. Actually, just about any weapon in the game will send a bat flying, and then they'll slowly fly back within range. And I mean slowly. Unfortunately, there's an enemy that does this even better than bats. Ghosts. Oh my gosh, ghosts drive me insane. Unfortunately, I do not have my own experience with this one, but playing on mobile and not having the 1.5 update and watching everyone else enjoy the joys of Ginger Island. Sorry about that, mobile players. I am sure the update will be complete soon. Remember, Concerned Ape will only release it when it's perfect and it'll be worth the wait. Which of these have happened to you? And what did I miss in this video? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're feeling extra generous today, why not hit subscribe? I'd greatly appreciate it. But for now, I will see you in the next video.